My name is Evelyn, and this is the story of the moment my entire world shattered and how I had to rebuild it alone. It started on a warm Saturday morning. The air smelled of fresh grass, the sun casting its golden rays through the window, but my heart felt cold. I had worked countless hours, saved every penny, all with one goal: to finally attend college. It was my dream, my escape. After years of balancing school with odd jobs, it felt like my hard work was finally paying off. Until that day, when everything I thought I knew about family loyalty was stripped away. I was sitting at the kitchen table, sipping a cup of coffee, my acceptance letter lying proudly beside me. My parents sat across from me, their faces calm, yet I sensed a storm brewing behind their eyes. "Evelyn," my mother began, her tone unusually soft, "we've been talking." I glanced between her and my father, who wore the same expression, a kind of forced neutrality that instantly made my stomach churn. My mother continued, "You know how much your father and I have struggled with finances lately. And we've had an idea. One that we believe would benefit the entire family." I leaned forward, gripping my mug. "What are you saying?" My father cleared his throat. "We want you to give your college tuition to your sister, MIA. For a moment, the words didn't register. The room spun, as if the air had been sucked out, leaving nothing but silence and the sound of my heart pounding in my ears. "What?" My voice came out in a hoarse whisper. "MIA has this incredible business idea," my mother pressed on, her voice picking up excitement, as though that would make the blow easier. "She's got a real chance to succeed. But she needs the money now, and you have enough saved. You'll have other chances." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. All the sleepless nights, the extra shifts, the sacrifices I made, and they wanted me to give it all up for Mia's business dream? My little sister, who never had to work a day in her life, who floated through everything with the assumption that things would just work out for her. This was my future they were asking me to give away. "I can't do that," I finally said, my voice trembling with a mixture of disbelief and rage. "I've worked for this. I've earned it." My father shook his head. "Evelyn, it's for the family. Your sister is more important than me." I snapped, the words cutting through the air like a blade. "You're asking me to give up everything I've worked for. Don't be selfish," my mother said, her eyes narrowing. "You're thinking only of yourself. Mia's business could lift this family up. It could change everything. But what about me?" My voice cracked, and I felt the sting of tears I desperately tried to hold back. "What about my dreams?" "We're a family," my father said, his tone final. "Sometimes you have to make sacrifices." Sacrifices. I had already sacrificed so much. I always thought that my family would be the ones who'd lift me up when the time came, that they'd stand by me when I finally had my chance. But here they were, asking me to sacrifice the very thing I'd built my entire future around. I stood up from the table, my legs shaking. "I won't do it. I won't give her my tuition." My mother's face hardened, her disappointment palpable. "If you can't help this family, maybe you should rethink your priorities." My breath caught in my throat, the weight of their words pressing down on me like a crushing force. Priorities. I had made them my priority for as long as I could remember. But this was too much. "I can't believe you'd ask this of me," I said, my voice barely a whisper now. And that's when MIA walked in, her usual carefree smile plastered on her face. She had no idea about the conversation that had just shattered my reality. "What's going on?" she asked, oblivious. I couldn't even look at her. "I'm leaving," I said, turning toward the door. My parents protested, but their voices sounded distant, like echoes in a cave. I couldn't hear them anymore. The weight of betrayal was deafening. As I walked out of the house, I knew I wasn't just leaving the kitchen. I was leaving them behind. Everything they had asked of me, every expectation they placed on me, had finally broken me. I grabbed my things, what little I had, and left. The door closed behind me with a finality that resonated deep within my bones. For weeks, I crashed at friends' places, keeping my distance from my family, unsure of where to go. I was alone, but there was also something liberating in that. For the first time, I wasn't living for them. I wasn't bound by their expectations or guilt. I was living for me. I got a second job, then a third. I did what I had to do. Every penny I earned, I put toward my education. I missed sleep, I missed meals, but I never missed a beat when it came to working for my dream. There were nights when the loneliness was unbearable, and mornings when I thought I couldn't keep going. But I did. I had to. Months passed, and slowly, the pain of leaving my family started to numb. I still heard from them sometimes, calls and texts asking me to come back, to forgive, to reconsider. But I couldn't. Not yet. Maybe not ever. One evening, I sat in my small apartment, staring at my acceptance letter again. The same one I had once proudly laid on the kitchen table. I had made it. I was going to college. And I did it on my own. As I walked into the campus on my first day, the sun setting behind the towering buildings, I felt something I hadn't in a long time: pride. Not the kind that came from others' approval, but from knowing that I had fought for this. Every step was mine. I might have left my family behind, but I had found something more valuable in the process: myself.